It's a solemn occasion for Justice Gaston as the graveside funeral adjourns. He has lost 3 of his sons at the Battle of Hanging Rock, where the Patriots surprised and routed multiple British camps at the outpost just north of Camden. General Sumter and his men, heads bowed, give their respects.
This was a hard day.
Those 3 men were good people, brave and true. Their brother Joseph Gaston was shot in the head, but still lives. He's being cared for in Charlotte.
We may all follow suit at some point. They were good soldiers. The Gastons have literally given everything they have for the right to call this our country. Let's make sure they didn't die in vain.
Back in camp, General Sumter and his colonels look over the map of the territory, but shade is futile in the early afternoon sun. They are hot.
All right, boys. We need to understand who'll be with us in the coming weeks. Our General Washington has sent General Gates south. He's coming down from Hillsborough with several thousand soldiers. I'm not sure what his goal is, but I suspect it's Camden. Provisions for men and horses will be scarce, so we need to consider options. Tell us your plans, Major Davy.
General, begging your leave, my men and I will continue to operate independently. We will work on the east side of the waterway between Camden and Charlottetown. We can act as guides and messengers while keeping the Tory militia from rising up.
We thank you for your help. We should know more about our plans once we meet with General Gates and feel him out. Good luck to you, Major.
General, it has been an honor helping our cause here, but I fear I need to take my men near to home. We hear that our families are being threatened, and this would be a good time to help in that region near to 96.
Very well, Colonel Williams. Stay in touch, though. Coordination of effort will help immensely in causing the British to rethink their strategies.
Yes, sir. I believe we may be able to link up with our North Carolina friends. We could make a stand in that area while you are helping out here at Camden.
We need to look to resupply ourselves. Give your men leave as you see fit, but supplies need to be a priority. Whatever comes next, we'll need food, ammunition, and good horses.
Sumter wanders off down the hill towards the riverbank and leans against a tree. Soldier Tom, a slave and servant companion, is with him. An afternoon thunderstorm cloud approaches in the distance across the river. He remembers the thunderstorm that stopped him from capturing the British outpost at Rocky Mountain.
If only I had some cannons.
It certainly would make our time here shorter. The sooner we push these men out of the country, the quicker we get home.
Soldier Tom walks away and General Sumter is left alone with his thoughts. A bald eagle rides a thermal updraft above the river and soars off ahead of the clouds. General Sumter remains by the river until the rain begins to patter on the water. He then strides toward shelter in the camp.
Men, it's time to seek out General Gates and the Continentals. I'd like a handful of you to accompany me to their camp, and the rest of you continue to prepare and train the men. I'll leave the particulars up to the colonels. Be on guard for any dangers as we ride. When we get to their camp, remember to conduct yourselves with some dignity. It may be hard for some of you. We'll head out as soon as Joseph Haley fixes my wagon.
You mean Yusuf bin Ali?
Isn't that what I said? Joseph Haley?
No, Yusuf bin Ali.
Yeah, that's confusing. Can I just call you Joseph from now on?
That is fine by me, General. Thank you for asking.
General Sumter and a party of his soldiers enter the camp of General Gates. They are met by General Gates's aide-de-camp, Otho Holland Williams, and Baron Johann de Cab.
General Sumter? I believe you sent me a letter recently about ideas on potential targets.
I did indeed. I was hoping to retake the crossroads around my trading post on the Santee. We could cut the supply lines from Charlestown and isolate Camden in the process.
That may be in the works. Come in and meet General Gates. General Gates, this is General Sumter of South Carolina.
Welcome, my friends. I have heard a lot of you of late.
Sir, we've been holding our own the last few weeks in hopes of coordinating with you to take back our homes.
Well, I am the head of this fine army and plan on doing just that. What's on your mind?
I'd like to suggest a feint to the west of the Wateree River. I would lay siege to Rocky Mount, provided you loan me some men and a cannon. Then I'll attack the supply post at Cary's fort in hopes of drawing some of the British soldiers from Camden. The cattle and supplies will be a benefit to your men on campaign. We'll deliver both to Rocky Mount and Cary's fort and protect your right wing.
You shall have your cannon, and I will assign some men to you as well. We are going to get your state back and push these scoundrels into the sea. Let's just make sure we work in unison. You and your men have been giving the Brits a fit. I commend your work. I've been coordinating with the North Carolina and Virginia troops as we have moved south. I have a Francis Marion in camp who is with the Continental Line at Charleston. He says he was recuperating from an ankle injury when Charleston fell. He is a shabby fellow, and his men are not much to gaze upon. They don't exactly instill confidence, if you know what I mean.
Well, I'm sure you could use all the help that comes your way. We'll coordinate our efforts to coincide with your movements.
Very good. I'm sending Marion down to intercept the British supplies coming from Charlestown. He should have no trouble keeping the boats out of the hands of our enemies. If he could raise a force of men, he could cause some real havoc.
Well, General, here they are. We will load you up some powder and shot to help you along. I will draw up the orders for the various detachments that we will be assigning to you. Godspeed.
Thank you, General. We'll cover your right flank across the river and intercept any British reinforcements coming to Camden. Colonel Wynn, tell Joseph to bring up that wagon and make sure these cannons come back with us.
General Sumter, you have been doing well the past few weeks. The British have been pulling in their outposts. We think we can lure them out of their fortifications as we get closer. Your work on the flank might be the spark that starts this fire.
Sumter arrives back in camp with the cannons in tow.
We just returned from Gates' camp. His Continentals are here. We saw Marylanders and men from Delaware, Virginia, and North Carolina. It's a large army and they mean business. We'll be on a warpath soon. We have more friends with us, and now we have some artillery. Prepare for a long march. We aim to push these lobsterbacks into the Atlantic.
Sumter, Wynn, Bratton, and Hill rest near the river. The scene is peaceful and belies the dangerous events that have swirled around this band of men over the last few weeks.
Colonel Bratton, of the four of us, you're the only one that hasn't had his property burned.
Only because we got there in the nick of time.
Yep, that Captain Hook torched my ironworks. It was a providential sign that we stopped him when we did.
This ain't over by a long shot. The Brits are still unloading supplies in Charlestown, and, well, now that they have a foothold, they won't easily let go.
Yeah, that is true. In my estimation, though, we need to keep them off balance and always guessing. Hit them on their flanks while they're concentrated on a bigger army in the front. They'll react like a turtle and crawl right back inside their shell.
Except that the turtle has bayonets, cavalry, and cannon.
And more turtles.
Well, I didn't say it was going to be easy.
British commanders Turnbull and Rowden are shrewd and smart. General Gates may be in for a fight. We may all be in for a fight.
He didn't do a good job bringing those men down here without proper food. They look famished.
General Gates is used to people bending to his will because of his rank and privilege. It works well against people who are used to being told what to do. Not against the British High Command, or for that matter, you men.
Well, it sounds like he and the Brits have a lot in common when it comes to being high and mighty.
But we need him, and he needs us.
I'm glad we're operating independently across the river. I'm not sure I want to be around him. We've been handling things on our own pretty well recently.
Well, that last fight at Hanging Rock was a good one for sure. But remember, if we get into a scrap, and it looks like we're surrounded, fight like the Indians do. Don't line up and try to take on a bayonet charge or a cavalry charge. Shoot from tree to tree and then scatter like the wind. And we'll meet back up near the state line.
General, we are about ready. I figure we can move out within a few hours.
That's good. Let's have a war council and discuss our plans. We have a lot of men, and moving them correctly will be paramount. Men, we have a plan that will take some coordination. We're going to attack Rocky Mount and then push on to Cary's fort and attack their supply depot. We now have artillery and feel we have the odds in our favor. We'll need to send some troops to the various river crossings both above and below Camden. We also need to watch for reinforcements from Fort 96. We must make decisions in conjunction with General Gates. This is not a hit-and-run situation. These are large armies acting in unison, so prepare for the long ride. Colonel Wynn, before we cross the river, I want to make sure we can pull those cannons up to Rocky Mount in quick order. I want to have another go at that fortification. But make sure we have protection for the cannons.
Yes, sir.
We can't have them taken during our mission.
Sir, the post at Rocky Mount has been abandoned.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes, sir. I think Turnbull and Rowden have pulled their outpost into Camden, probably because Gates is in the neighborhood.
Very well. Wynn, pass the word. Move past cautiously but head towards Cary's depot. Assign men to take every river crossing between here and Cary's. Also, go ahead and assign units to cover the crossings below Cary's once we arrive. And watch the road from 96.
The long column of militia and Continental soldiers moves down the road towards their various assignments. The force contains approximately 700 warfighters in all. The 2 brass cannons, limbered to the back of wagons, are escorted by their crews. Anticipation grows as they get closer to their target. Cary's fort is an encampment in an open field above the western bank of the Wateree River. Quickly, and in good order, the woods around the post are speckled with patriot warriors. The cannons are moved in position and aimed at the redoubt. The riflemen pick their targets among the British soldiers milling about. The British soldiers are unaware of the danger in this pastoral setting.
Fire!
Furiously, Sumter's men charge into the encampment and take control. All along the field, militiamen and Continentals rush into the rows of tents and the redoubt. British soldiers are captured before they fully appreciate what has happened.
Sir, we got Colonel Cary, and a whole lot more.
They both gaze out onto the field. The cannons are being limbered up while various wagons are being loaded. Militiamen are cracking whips as they round up the cattle and sheep into staging areas.
That's good work. Looks like we're going to be drovers now also.
Sir, Colonel Taylor reports that a large British column is approaching from 96.
Sumter and Wynn dash west with reinforcements. The hoofbeats of their horses and the heartbeats in their chests are the only sounds they hear as they crest the hill. As the road opens up before them, they see that Colonel Thomas Taylor has expertly ambushed the convoy and taken them all as prisoners. Patriot militia have stopped and surrounded a large line of wagons. British soldiers are being relieved of their weapons as Sumter and his relief column ride up.
I figured I would go ahead and capture them and save you any trouble, sir.
That was kind of you, Colonel. Did you get anything good in this convoy?
I'm afraid we have mostly sick men in the wagons being escorted by sick men on foot. But we do have some rum, clothing, and firearms.
Every little bit helps.
General, this is a lot to take with us.
I know, but we're cooperating with Gates and we need to know his plans.
Sir, you can see our guys down by the river are taking some serious fire. Well, we have returned to fire sporadically, and I have kept them from making a serious effort. But in time, they will try and make their way across.
I've ordered Colonel Taylor to begin moving north with his prisoners and wagons. You two pass the word to do the same. Wynn, you must cover our rear and make sure the river crossings above and below us are defended. Pull the river guards off in good order. Don't leave them stranded. You are to backtrack from where we came and find General Gates. Do not get caught. Ride fast and stay safe. Give him this report and tell him we've captured 40 wagons, over 70 British soldiers, and numerous cattle. I await further orders from him.
Yes, sir.
Colonel Bratton, we've been fortunate. I'll take victories like this any day, but this is a lot of baggage, prisoners, and cattle.
Well, if this is any indication of how Gates will handle his campaign, we'll be fine.
I hope so, Colonel. I really hope so. We'll be sitting ducks if it goes bad.